everybody, it's Safi and Marco, and it's late on a Thursday evening. It's raining outside, and we are doing a review of the just off the presses Master Chef Junior. And Marco will have to say the title again, but they worked with eggs, so guess what the title has in it?
Totally egg-streme.
And then the episode number is.
I don't know, like 9 or 10.
Well, it really doesn't matter. They're into it. There's like what, 7 left?
There's 6 left.
Okay.
So
And
6 episodes. Wait, 5 episodes. 6 episodes left too.
it was kind of a mixed bag for us in certain ways,
To say the least.
and it was because one thing that turned me off.
Well,
We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah,
I get so I've heard this for the adults too, not just kids, adults, and I really get sick of hearing it. And then the other thing is, of course, they only are allowing one because we're down to not that many people.
Or 7 in this episode, so
It's down to 6.
yeah.
So they
They
only
do-
allow one person to be able to escape having to do anything but the first challenge.
Yeah, and the first challenge was, I thought, this is the sad thing, is that I think that it's sort of like how the judges thought about the kids' dishes, because I thought that both challenges were good challenge ideas. I just think that they didn't make for entertaining television with these kids. I don't really think that this episode is as entertaining as the majority of the episodes this season. And when you have stuff that happened in it as well, adding on to that, it's like, ugh. So, stuff that really, pisses us off, honestly. It gets to a certain point where it's not really funny anymore. It's just irritating. It's the same thing for the adults, too. Like, with the adults, they'll have, there was this one season where they had this blonde woman, and she was like some army interrogator or something, and you could tell that Joe thought she was hot, so that's the only reason she was allowed to stay as long as she did in the competition. And so she was basically just there because the judges thought she was attractive. And it's just really irritating the fact that other talented chefs would get sent home, and then she would be the one who gets to stay. And I think that was also the same season where they really effed over that college kid in the finale, and they wouldn't even allow him to cook dessert. That was so shitty and awful. Oh, God. I hate MasterChef adults. Hate it.
Yeah. I don't like it either, but now we're back to the kids.
Well, I mean, let's talk about what I'm referencing, because I'm saying the same type of thing happens in the adults, too. It's not just for the kids where this type of thing can happen.
Right. Actually, it's meaner and, well, I'm not going to say dirtier, it's just meaner. They're meaner, and they throw their stuff in the trash, and they don't just throw
No, I'm
it
talking
away.
about with how people can stay even though they don't deserve to be there.
Yeah, but still, overall, the adults are a lot meaner about it.
Yeah.
I think, when they send somebody home. So, which I guess I'm grateful that they're not too mean with the kids, because they're just kids.
They're already mean enough. They've made kids cry almost every episode.
Yeah.
On accident, not even trying to. So God forbid they actually would be mean. That'd be pretty funny. Then they get canceled.
Yeah, so I don't know what you want to talk about.
Well, I was saying with the adults, people can stay there even though they don't deserve it, and I told you, and Safi explained what that has to do with this. Wink, wink. Get what I
Well,
mean?
okay, but
Do I need to spell it out?
It's talking about the person who was saved, and the reason why he was saved is because he made a superior dish. The problem is he's pretty good at cooking by himself, and that's great. But this season has been all about the quote team challenges. And the thing about this episode, they didn't have any team challenges. They started off with a singular one, meaning it was everybody for themselves. And the winning dish was the person who didn't have to compete anymore and was safe. And that was Mafia Don, which is not his name. It's what Marco calls him. And he did make a really good dish. It looked good, and they were really impressed.
But let's be honest, Safi, he should have been gone like 12 episodes ago.
And he also strategized, meaning he got to take part in choosing who went first on the next challenge. They had to pull cuts of meat, which they had like a representation of a cow.
I mean, Safi, let's be honest. He is the worst player there, in our opinion, and in terms of overall.
The problem is he ruins it for everybody when in a team challenge. He'll stop what he's doing, and when you're doing a team challenge, you're part of a team. And that would be the same for any like sports team or anybody doing a team. They need everybody's help and good effort. Oh, thunder. And he is not a team player. He does not work well with others.
And in
it
fact,
makes me wonder at school, I wonder if he's
Safi,
the same way. Well, it's just, I've never seen it like that before. I've never seen somebody does not work well with others.
And in the second half, he basically gets to put his sabotaging skills to use by getting to pick the order of the people who get to pick first and last in the beef competition. And so, honestly, like, he should have been gone like 12 episodes ago. And so and what pisses us off too is the fact that we saw a preview for next week, and it already looks like he's going to sabotage the teams next week, and he's going to ruin another team challenge. And like, why do they just keep letting him slide by every single team challenge? Like, he needs to just go. Like, I mean, he's clearly the worst one there. I would say him and Cruz probably, and then after that maybe Molly. Gummy worm Molly. Unfortunately, she has a couple of weaknesses that she doesn't really get through. And then the best players would probably be Leah and
the librarian.
And the girl who looks like a teacher or a librarian, Ava. Is that what her name was?
No, that's the little girl. The Pearls.
So wait, you're talking about, who's the librarian?
I don't know what her name is. I don't know why I don't know.
What are you talking about? My Fair Masterchef Junior?
Yeah, that's Pearls.
You're saying she's the best one?
No, she's not.
No way.
But she's managed to slide by.
Yeah,
because she manages to, like, with those, when she never seems to win, like, to get herself safe. Except maybe she did last week.
The youngest kids there have really slid by.
Yeah, but
for a while.
When they have to do their elimination challenge, she seems to manage to do pretty good.
What's frustrating is the fact that the reason why the person went home this week who went home, the reason why he went home, honestly, I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as the things that Mafia Don has done for the whole competition. And so I really think that it's sort of sad the fact that we're getting into the top 6 and, you know, he's still there and he's going to be in another team challenge. Like, I don't even want to watch it. Like it's the same old shit. Like it's it's predictable. Like with it's awful. Like tell me why they had to kick off the epilepsy girl and then keep Mafia Don.
Yeah.
Safi,
I don't know.
tell me.
I don't know, but I
You give them.
dread the next week.
I
The
know.
week's episode. I mean,
It's
we
gonna
didn't
be
even. We only saw
horrible.
like a little fraction, but it was fraction enough to show him messing everybody else up. And you wonder if he's doing it on purpose. I don't know. I really don't, because I mean, it could be just gets all he can't work well with others, and that gets in the way of his being able to effectively work. Because when he's by himself, he makes really good, and you could tell he makes a good meal.
In terms of the first round, I would probably say he had the best dish.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It looked good and it tasted good.
Well, you wouldn't know, so.
Well, they knew, and they all tasted.
They don't really know what good taste is, though, as we found out.
And this thing, can we talk about it yet?
Well, let's just say the steak challenge was fine. I mean, it really wasn't that entertaining, and a lot of the kids, it was sad too, because they had these sort of seemingly fancy dish ideas, and then you'd see the completed product, and they all had like little mistakes except for one of them. And so it was sad that like that this is like the top 7, and they're making these little mistakes. And especially with the kid who goes home, he
actually hurt his finger.
He chopped into his finger.
With a the knives have to be very sharp.
And that wasn't the funniest part. The funniest part was the fact that he made potatoes au gratin and he forgot the cheese.
Which is the au gratin, if you don't know.
That was funny. That was like the funniest. That was the best moment of the whole episode.
He really didn't know until they pointed it out.
But it was followed.
I think he was distracted by his finger.
I know. Well, but that moment was followed by probably the worst thing about the whole episode, despite how much we've talked about Mafia What was the worst part? Safi?
The wine.
No, well, that's the second worst part. But what was the, Okay, I'll just say it for you because I don't know. Why do you
I just keep
remember that?
thinking about the wine.
Oh,
I can't
really?
get off of it.
Oh, I thought, okay. Oh.
I can't move on.
They cut into Cruz's steak, and Cruz is the one who goes home, and he has the finger problem. They cut into his steak, and they're like, ooh, it's medium well. Ooh.
God, I've had medium well so many times. That's
and
what
it's
I
like,
preferred.
What the F? Like, just, what? Like, seriously? Like, you're gonna send him home because his steak is medium well? Like, I only eat my steaks medium well. So, like, what the... Like, what is up with that?
Well, he forgot the cheese for the au gratin, and he did not know.
That was just really irritating, though. Like, this queer thing with the medium rare and the medium well.
But there was another one, too, that did that, right? Didn't they get mad at somebody else?
That was Gummy Worm Molly.
Oh, yeah, it was Molly. And that's right, Molly thought she was going to go home, and she was embarrassed.
And tonight she had, like, a donut headband.
Oh.
Instead of a gummy worm one.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants to be called a donut, though.
No. She's a very nice girl, and she, she's probably thinking about her dad, too.
And you're just kind of biased because she's from Missouri like you.
But still, she is a competitor with her father, and they've cooked many a beef meal. And we haven't explained what the challenges are.
They had to cook steak. I already explained the first challenge.
The first one was different eggs.
They cooked different animal eggs.
And
the second
be quail, ostrich, emu. Was that weird red colored one?
That was green.
Oh, green. then there was, I think, quail egg.
Ostrich.
And
But
so,
I already talked about that.
And then the second challenge was
beef.
Beef, and the thing is that the one thing I liked about that challenge, the outcome of it, with this thing about the medium well and something else with the wine, really pissed me off. But the way they picked the meats, they were all set up in this cow where the steak would be. What part of the cow the steak is connected to?
It was
right?
operation, but
it
with
was,
beef.
The game operation.
And so that was pretty fun.
They had a giant one, only it was with tongs and getting the piece of beef out of the cow. And they had to do it. If it buzzed, they would have to stop and they have to go to the end of the line, and then they'd have to do it again. They might not get the cut of meat that they wanted or whatever. So everybody usually, it seemed like they tried to get the same one they originally had tried to get, but then if they gave up, they went after a different one. So that was with the meat. Okay, so
Yeah.
we all know, if anybody out there has watched any cooking show, what kind of steak is it that all the chefs seem to favor, and they go on and on about it?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. You have to cook your meat medium rare, or else you're a bad person.
Yeah,
I've never
you were
eaten a medium rare. Well, I think I tried it because I wanted to see what is so great.
The person who used to make steaks all the time, they would, the person around here, they would make it medium rare all the time, and we did not like it at all. But the thing is that people should be able to cook the steak however they want to. Like, this is not
unless they ask them to
this
cook
is
it
not,
a certain way.
This is not Hell's Kitchen where they're all cooking uniform medium rare steaks for a restaurant. This is Masterchef Junior, where they should all be able to cook the steaks however they want to cook it. And so that medium well thing really pissed us off. But the other thing that pissed us off, I guess Safi hated it more.
Well, I can't believe it.
With the teacher girl, Ava.
She did a good job. Did she get in trouble for anything?
Well, she did a shit ton of shit. Like, she just did, everything but the kitchen sink put on her dish, and did, a MasterChef quality dish.
It was a very good dish.
And then Aaron, who was also the one who talked about the medium well, he complained that she used white wine for the sauce instead of red wine. And it's like, why?
Well, how would she know that, Aaron? How many glasses of wine do you think she's had in her life?
Why is a 10-year-old girl or whatever, 11 or 12-year-old girl, why is she, how would she know what type of wine would work best with a steak?
And I'm thinking, well, it could be that at her house, her parents may drink white wine all the time. Pinot Noir, whatever that is, and whatever. And she may not be familiar with using red wine.
Aaron is he's telling her ooh, the white wine was a misstep, and she's just looking at him like he's retarded.
I know, and he was stupid for saying that, because but he should have said or quantified it by saying, but we wouldn't expect you to know about the different wines.
That was the only flaw with their whole effing dish, was the wine, and so the fact that they're acting like an 11-year-old girl should know what type of wine tastes better with steak. It's just the stupidest thing. I mean, that was terrible. Like that, and then the medium well. These are just some cringeworthy judging things that you see.
They act like they've broken the law.
Yeah.
Or something. Like they've committed a fatal sin where they called somebody a bad name, or they stole something.
I don't think so.
Cheated on tests.
I think Mafia Don has done worse the whole season.
Yeah. Well, intentionally or not intentionally, but whatever it is, he's messed up every time he's on a team.
I give
He messes it up.
this episode, I would give it a C plus. I would say that this was not a very good episode. Of course, it felt kind of like an April Fool's Day episode where who's the kid? Sorry. Excuse me. Who's the kid who gets immunity? The worst player. And then, oh yeah, there's a kid and he makes potatoes au gratin. But he doesn't put the au gratin in the potatoes. Like, it really felt like an April Fool's Day prank episode rather than a real episode. And I would just give it a C plus because it was okay. I would say, what was the best part? What did I say
like
was
the
the
different
best part?
eggs. I like the picking of the meat, and I thought Leah and the librarian, I call her the librarian, I thought they did excellent, and their dishes looked really good, and they looked artistic. I mean, and it looks like they probably tasted good. I do know the Asian girl, Leah, makes all of her food Asian oriented, and I don't know if that's fair.
Well, I agree, but that's a separate issue. I mean, you could just say the same thing about Gummy Worm Molly, though,
That's true.
because
There's
she makes all of her food like barbecue oriented.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just that they have complained about stuff like that before, where they're saying they're not going out of their comfort zone.
Well, what I would blame is the fact that they're not forcing them to cook certain types of dishes, and they're too busy forcing them to do these stupid team challenges.
So they can get them messed up by that kid
Yeah.
who does not. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this. I've heard about this, like at school, does not work well with others. Kid doesn't work well with others. And I'm wondering, is it the same thing at school? And I've just never seen what it looks like. And he does not. And it's bad, because the reason why it's so bad is because that's all
half the
they've had.
challenge.
Almost
That's half the competition.
almost the entire show has been every week, except maybe this week. And I don't know if there's been another week where it's always been a team challenge. And then they showed us a clip for next week. It's a team challenge, and it's something that looks like it's going to take up the entire episode.
Yeah, it's going to be restaurant takeover. So they're literally doing Hell's Kitchen, which is even scarier.
Yeah,
Since I said he would be, like, if he was on Hell's Kitchen, he would be the most hated player in history. Like, he would be, like, the most... Like, they really should, like, as soon as he becomes an adult and he can sign up for Hell's Kitchen, they need to put him on Hell's Kitchen. Because he's just gonna steamroll everybody and, like, make nobody else want to compete.
He's a good cook, but I mean, he messes everybody up. And then when he does that, too, his stuff doesn't turn out all the time. It's like half and half. It's like 50-50. So it's not that it's helping him necessarily when he does this with other people.
But what would you rate this episode,
I
Safi?
guess I'd give it a C.
Okay, so you think it's worse than I do.
Well, I'm just not happy with the wine thing. I'm not happy with this steak bullshit. I'm so sick of hearing. I mean, this isn't just them.
It is
I've heard this
Cutthroat
with
Kitchen.
every damn cooking show we've
Chopped.
ever watched.
Chopped.
Oh, it has to be medium rare.
Worst cooks in America.
And I'm sick of it.
Yeah,
no,
I'm sick of it
it doesn't. Because not everybody wants to eat medium rare.
I think the only food show where the main host hasn't really complained that much is probably Bizarre Foods, and that's just because he'll eat anything.
I don't know.
Just goes around eating all sorts of things. And oh yeah, that was the other funny thing, was the fact that the winner of the beef competition,
Oh my God.
she got to have her recipe published, and it was Leah, and her dish did look like it was the tastiest for sure. It didn't look the best presentation wise. It looked kind of ugly. it looked kind of like snot on a plate.
Yeah, she had
But
this cream corn or something.
it did look tasty,
Ugh.
and that would have been the one that I would have wanted to eat the most.
Ugh.
But she got to have her recipe published, so we could technically make it, and her whole family, which is hilarious because you know they're gonna hate it. They're gonna get to visit a cattle ranch, and they're gonna get to see, and this is what they said. They're gonna get to see the whole process from farm to table, which is a very popular
Which they
like
might decide to become
sushi
vegetarian
fufu.
if they see
Yeah,
the end
like
part.
they're gonna get to see the cows get castrated. They're gonna get to see them get branded and everything, and they're
Yeah.
gonna
Oh
get to
wow.
see them
Oh,
massacred
lovely.
at the end. Like, oh
Oh
wow.
wow. I just really want to see that.
Is Leah gonna get to do the honors and like cut off his head or slit his throat open or something?
Yeah, I mean, just really.
Wouldn't that be
We want
hilarious?
to watch. Oh, what's that book about the city, Upton Sinclair, with the meatpacking industry?
Nobody cares about that.
I know that, but I
I
thought
know.
of that immediately when they talked about from the farm to the plate.
What if they had like Gordon come along and Gordon's like, "Here you go, Leah. Don't be scared. Just pull it by the ear and then put the knife in its neck and go like this. And then we're gonna get to make some beef Wellington."
Yeah.
Because something else he did in this episode was Mafia Don. He was making his fry, which looked good. That was definitely the best dish of the first round. And Gordon
Which is
helped
the one
him.
you want.
He helped him open up the oysters.
Well, I
and-
think he showed him the quick way.
And which was good because whenever I see people open oysters, it looks pretty difficult. Like you could easily cut yourself
Yeah.
with that knife that you pry it open with.
And that's very sharp knife.
But then he has Mafia Don drink some of the oyster juice.
Ugh.
And I
Ugh.
think that he did that because he like wanted to punish him a little bit. Like how with the slob, like when he flirted with Gordon's daughter, he punished him by wrongfully sending him home the next episode. Or no, it was the same episode.
No, it was the same episode.
Because he wanted to punish him for flirting with his daughter. And in this, it's like he was punishing Mafia Don by like forcibly shoving oyster, which I will give props to him because he wasn't gonna let him get away with not trying it. Like
Right.
with that girl who thought it would be okay to not eat the crab. Remember that?
Yes.
That might be the worst thing of the whole season for me. Like that was just like inexcusable.
And he also would give credit to him, Mafia Don, was that after he had to do that, he did it again on his own.
Yeah.
He tried it again on his own, and he still, it was the same outcome. He didn't care for it. And I was wondering how it was going to all turn out because since he didn't care for the oyster juice and he has oysters in his dish.
Well, I know.
I
I
wondered how
thought
that was going to work out.
I thought that might have affected it too, but it didn't.
Not at all.
So it was an okay episode. Not excited for next week though.
No, I'm
At all.
totally afraid.
Like I'd much rather just not watch it. So Safi?
Yeah. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel and tell us what you thought about tonight's episode. Tell us about your idea of a good steak. Do you think it should be, I mean, for you personally, do you like it medium rare? Do you think the right person was sent home? And anything else you want to talk about?
We really shouldn't be surprised because this was the same competition where earlier on Daphne was like encouraging all the kids to say that like pineapple should be banned from being on pizza, as if like it's any of her business to tell people what they can and can't put on their fucking pizza.
Yeah.
So like the medium rare thing really isn't surprising. Like
No, because all the cooking shows push it.
I guess it's like a part of being a pretentious chef is like you kind of for some reason some of the food opinions you kind of feel like you have the right to tell other people what kind of food they shouldn't
Well,
eat.
I think it's something like Chef 101.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think it's something basic they learn in cooking school
Well,
about the
cooking school
cooking
can
stick.
go jump off a cliff.
Well, I know that because it just is not right. Not, no, I don't. I think I don't know. I'm trying to think anybody else in our family who likes the medium rare.
Probably, you know who,
Yeah.
California.
I don't know.
I
don't
think
know
so.
about that.
Want to bet?
Yeah, let's
Wait.
ask them.
No, you can do
I'll
that
ask them.
some
I'll
other
ask
time.
them after dinner. After we're done.
Yeah, and then we'll
Okay.
tell you next week because I can guarantee you, Safi, guarantee you, I'd be willing to bet you.
Well, he probably does.
Oh, that's just because his friends tell him to. So, anyways, good.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.